Hey Bob, I've looked at these swings pretty in depth here. I think the left side of the screen you've done a nice job with everything. I drew some lines in there. This is the most recent swing you've given me, and I'll tell you what, I think it looks pretty good from this angle. What I'm going to give you a little bit of job is on the right hand side of the screen. But when you set up here and you take a look at how the club goes back, excuse me, how your posture looks, love everything you've done there. Club's going back very nice, and a pretty square looking face right there. So at this stage of the game, I wouldn't change a whole lot here. Like the way the club again gets set up and gets over the shoulder in a very square position there. You're going to see a little drop of that shaft there, which I don't mind that. That gets that club working from the inside nicely. And I tried to find your original video you sent to me, and I think I erased it, but I do have a couple other ones. But I really like your backside. You've done a nice job with what I asked you to do, kind of sticking that butt out and keeping your chest over this golf ball. Look how your head's still in the same position. You haven't backed off this line right here. This looks really nice. You see your spine darn near in the same position, and your butt's very close to staying on that line. And I think we can just finish that off if you look at the right side of the screen now. When I look at your right side of the screen, I'm not real happy with what I see right here. To me, it looks like you almost got a little reverse, almost a false turn going on. It appears like you've turned, but to me, Bob, you've got a lot of weight still kind of loaded right here on this thigh. And I'd love to see it back a little bit more onto this thigh. Now, what's that mean in your golf swing? From this point forward, I want you to watch your left hip relate to the right side of this red line. And as you go, you get just a little slidey right there. Now, right here, your left hip is out in front of your left knee. So for the most part there, Bob, you don't have a lot of stabilization going on underneath you. You don't have the good support from the ankles up through the knee, up to the hip. Right now your hip has outraced the knee. So you're getting a little too much of a slide going on there. And as you keep swinging, you're going to see how much of a slide you really have. Right there. See, right now you kind of slid past that ball a little bit. Now, what that's going to affect is you're trying to get down to a nice impact position, and boy, it looks like you're going to be in a nice impact. I love how the hands are hinged. They're staying hinged. You've got this angle right here. But what you're going to notice, as soon as you hit this golf ball, right there, we're getting a little bit of a breakdown right here. So it's just a touch bit of a power loss, and maybe a little bit scoopy, flippy, if you will, through that hit. And once again, I'm going to clear this off, but I want you to see what I'm talking about as far as model-wise, and how there's support from the knees upward. Watch Faxon's left knee. Watch how it kicks out. See, it kicks out, and his left knee, Bob, is out in front of his left hip, excuse me. And right here, your left hip is over in front of that left knee. So again, you don't have the support going on. And if you look at Faxon's wind up here, and your wind up, now let's go ahead and look, and I'm going to put a mark there in orange about where your hip socket would be. Looks to me like your hip socket would be about right in here, if you will. Where do you think Faxon's hip socket is? Right about here? So you can certainly see his hip socket is right above his left knee, and your hip socket is on the outside of your left knee. So that, to me, I've got to get that a little bit better matched up there. Love to see you work a little bit more weight back in that right thigh. Stance might be a little bit narrow for that, so just fractionally open that stance up a little bit, not a whole lot. Try and work that weight back in that right thigh. And then this is the biggie right here. As you guys come down separating, you see how your knee kind of slides, your hip kind of slides as your knee stays back. His knee kicks out to where it's still in front of the hip. I'm getting real picky, but boy, I think you want to be picky to keep your handicap down there and maybe get a lot better. And you can still see how his left knee is in front of his hip, which is making his left hip turn. Your left hip is still sliding a little too much. Well, that's going to be a power loss, like I said, because you can't retain the angle as long. And then look at the impact right there. And now let's look at your impact. See, it gets a little bit of the club getting past your hands as a touch bit. So Bob, that's what I'd work on. Hopefully you're clear on that. Again, what I'd tell you to do is a little wider stance with your feet. Again, not a bunch. Try and work your weight back into your right thigh, and then feel like your knee kind of kicks out. You know, pros years ago used to teach with a beach ball between the students' legs. And the first thing they'd do is they'd kick that knee out. And I've got some model pictures here. See if I can find it for you. Here's old Sam Snead. And I want you to take a look at his left hip and knee. See his hip? Once again, it's right here. Your left hip is again on the outside of the knee. So your knee has gone in quite a bit, but your hip really didn't work efficiently. Now, watch Snead's left knee on the way through. Look how it goes out. See, his left knee is out in front of the hip. It supports it. He's got some ground there. And you can see the space he's creating right here in his legs. Now, watch yours. So you're not creating the same amount of space. It's trying, but that knee's just not going like I want yet. And I think that's why you'll catch some balls thin. You catch some thin rights, if you will. When you see that little slide, then your hips have to come up a little bit. And I think if you look closely at your belt, just watch the belt. When you come down into this, it kind of goes, slide, 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 and then it starts going up, up, up right there. You can see it really kind of pull up out of that shot. So when that happens here, Bob, especially when you got a driver in your hand going about 100 miles an hour, it's very hard to hit that timing of that and not block that thing out to the right. Right there. Iron, you might be able to get away with that. So once again, let's get that weight working back in that right thigh, and then work it to where you have the left knee in front of the hip. And I want to see what you do. You get a wood swing here too, and I think you're pretty good, man. I'm telling you, done a nice job with the backside, sticking it out, keeping it out. I think we're just going to finish off the swing, if you will, working on this little touch-up with your left knee and left hip. Yeah, see, look how good you look right there. You're just a smidge away from that line, and I can live with that. More so than the first swing I ever saw you do. So Bob, let's work on that, and like I said, send me another video. I know you are. I know you will. So give me the good video with the putting, and give me a good video with trying to keep that weight working into your right thigh, and then work it back into your left knee, getting a little bit ahead of your left thigh. So work on those. Look forward to your next videos. Bob, good luck, and only a few more days of summertime left, so let's take advantage of it. See you. Bye.